All right, first thing you want to do, Jones, once your gun is good and hot, you're going to strip your wires. Always strip them a little longer. If you have heat shrink, now would be the time to put the heat shrink over the wire. So that way when you solder everything, you can put the heat shrink back over, do what you got to do. But if you're not using heat shrink, you're just going to tape it up. You could do that as well. That's not an issue. I like to take my solder and just take a piece of it, kind of like you would do for welding, and just fold a piece of it up in my hand, however you want to control it. But I shave my wires back like this. Some people take their wires and braid them like that. If you can do it like that. Obviously you're gonna make it flat on both sides and it'll end up looking streamlined like this. Or what I do is I take it and fan the wires out like this, and then just mesh them together and twist. You can do it this way too. Whichever way works for you is whatever way works for you. Once you get a nice tight seal, something like that, you're gonna have to rig your work up to where you can get it to be high enough for you to do what you're doing. Like usually with two hands working on something inside of a car is a little bit difficult, but for this I'll rig this up so you can at least see how you're supposed to solder it. Once your gun is good and hot, you go ahead and preload the gun or your iron. You'll see a bead get on it, and all you got to do is start from the end with that bead, let it sit on the wire for a minute, heat the wire up. If the wire is hot enough, you'll be able to feed it just like you would be for welding. This is real thick wire, and again, I'm not using a 100-watt gun, so you might be able to blow through this. But all you got to do is take it, and once the wire is hot, let it rest for a second, and then just feed the gun and walk down the wire, and it'll encapsulate the whole wire. And that's all you gotta do. Just drag it down like that, feeding it from the top. Like I said, this is 12 gauge wire, so it's a little bit thicker. The gun I'm using right now won't get hot enough to core this whole wire. But what you can do, like I said, is once you get the wire hot enough, just drag the whole thing down and you'll be able to see it when you start your work, because it'll just go right over top the whole wire and you'll be good to go.